The Last of Us, Season 2, Episode 2. I'm just going to say this right now. Spoilers. There is no way we can talk about this without spoilers for the game and the show. So if you haven't seen it, you haven't played it, fuck off. Right? Because we need no restrictions and I will talk about this right now. So that's your warning. You know, I think it's pretty fair. Kyle, they actually did it. I think we knew they were going to do it. And, a couple of people thought they were going to do it later on. A couple of people thought we were going to do it in the middle. Us two kind of thought we were going to do it early on and get it out of the way. But why did you have to kill Joel on my fucking birthday? Not what I wanted for my birthday. But
happy birthday, mate. Sorry.
Yeah, cheers, mush. But yeah, they did it. And I tell you this right now, I've seen a lot of people saying that this is the best episode of the show. I would still put the season 1 premiere as the best. I feel like that's the episode the most that made me feel the same way I was when I was playing the game. But I would definitely say this is the second best episode of the show, without a doubt.
I just want to say, I think the first episode is a great establishing episode. So I can't really, I don't know, if it was season 2 episode 1, then I'd be like, okay, there's quite a bit of competition here and stuff like that. But because it's season 2, it's the second episode, it's a big event, it happens very early. Whereas like season 1 episode 1 is the beginning of everything in the show. It's kind of hard to really sort of, because they're so good. They're so bloody good, and it's like hard to...
this show very rarely misses a step. So it's...
I mean, like, I think we both agree. Like, one of our all-time favorite episodes out of the entire show is the whole Bill and Frank episode.
Absolutely, that is such a beautiful episode.
I've actually gone back and just watched that episode because it's just it's
like so a film. Good. It's about an hour and a half long, that episode as well. Yeah. And just the way it closes out with the music and it's
perfection.
A love story done right.
Indeed. Yeah. But yeah, no, I definitely. So when the first episode happened and they introduced a couple of new things like the pipe in Jackson, I was like, okay, this is cool. The growing and expanding, which they did in the first season, and it did it very well. When it came to the next step, this episode 2, it was very much like, are they gonna try and surprise us here? Because I was like, are they gonna do it? I think I had confidence they would do it. Just I was like, are they gonna do it exactly the same?
Can I just say, I think they did it better in this than they did in the game. But I suppose that's the benefit of hindsight that they've got going into it.
Yeah, no, I think when it comes to the game, when it did it, Tommy was there, his brother, of course Ellie was there as well. It was heartbreaking for him to witness that, but I think it's even more depressing and more heartbreaking seeing Joel look over and seeing Jackson burning and not knowing if
people are making it or not.
Yeah, and if his brother's okay and whatnot, because clearly, obviously, in the first season, he's very adamant and finding his brother and being worried about him. So yeah, it's difficult, man, and it was brutal, but it was so. It's hard to describe. So in the game, it's very much just like golf club, hit after hit, and that's eventually hits.
Come in as Ellie.
Yeah. And it's eventually as the killing blow, and whereas in the show it was just like, it wasn't a big rah. It was just a final nail in the coffin. Really, it was just kind of.
It was a lot more personal.
Yeah.
It started with the golf club. She'd been beating him that much with the golf club that it broke, and she was using her hands to
Yeah.
beat him, and just all
Yeah.
performances all round in that just scene there was fantastic. Pedro, giving it all. I think his line delivery of just get the fuck on with it or something like that was.
Yeah.
He was like, just shut the fuck up and get on with it. It's like that were perfect. Bella, she proved to me that she can lead this show with episode 7 in season 1 when there was no Joel in it, and it was just her and Storm Reed's character in the mall. She proved to me there that she could lead the show.
I definitely think I agree with you. I think there will be, obviously there is a flashback scene in The Last of Us 2 in the game. So we're definitely going to probably we might even get a bit more flashback stuff with Joel, which will be nice.
We definitely will.
Yeah.
But look, I've been going back and forth on this all day. It's how it's pronounced. I've been hearing people say it both ways. It's either Caitlin Dever or Caitlin Dever. She stole the show as Abby in this episode, and it works a lot better knowing more, which we said was going to do. He was going to do this. They're going to try get you on Abby's side a little bit more. Even though she's just done this despicable thing and we'll never forgive her for it, we understand why she did it. Because in the game, it just comes out of nowhere and you're like, why? Who? These are fireflies? And you don't realize how personal it is to her.
Yeah.
But in this moment, you do. So, and the performance she gives is... Wow, I didn't know she had it in her. Favourite film of mine, Booksmart, she's in that. And they're just the role reversal on that is crazy. But she is great in this.
I will say this as well. I agree with everything you've said, and I think when it comes to sort of the benefit of hindsight, and with it being a show format, there's so many different things. There's things you need to transition over. It can't just be this, can't just be that. You need to get really the core of it in. And this actually got the core of Abby's character a lot more for me. I was a little hesitant. I said this to you, Callum. I'm not sure they should have introduced Abby as wanting to kill Joel, because that would have been more of a shock. But the way this episode is kind of set up, you don't see much of Joel, like rarely. No. And a lot of the times when they're about to kill off a main character or something like that, they get like a final word, they get a couple of scenes here and there. The attention is a bit more on them, and it's not normally just we haven't seen this character and then they just get killed off. They get a whole moment of being killed off,
and then just
loads.
Yeah. Ellie telling him to get up.
Yeah,
and just fucking Joel, and then wanting to do it, and just like I say, I don't want to take out away from anyone.
Why the fuck are you laughing?
I'm not. I just don't want to take out away from anyone else's performance. But yeah, Abby stuck out the most. But Bella, once they kill Joel, it's like, oh yeah, she's reminding us now. She's showing us now, like, no, remember, I've still fucking got it as well. And she's screaming, I'm gonna fucking kill you all. And it's like,
yeah,
okay.
One other thing as well, just to cap off what I was saying about the Abby sort of being introduced earlier, and why I think it's actually working, is when Ellie does eventually arrive. For people who don't know what actually happens with Joel being killed off, people are going to be like, oh, Ellie's arriving. Okay, Joel's going to be fine. Joel's going to be okay. This is all right. The way they set it up, and I'm not saying it's like convenient or coincidence. It's just like, Ellie's arrived. She's managed to track him down and find him.
Just in time.
And it's like, no, this is still happening. So for me, it was a little bit of, are they going to do it? Are they going to change something here? Because it just seemed a little, not like it was going through with it. But they did, and it's still
made it so much worse as well. I think.
Yeah, 100%.
Like they did it better, but made it worse. And how do you do that? And just and Ellie crawling over and getting on top of Joel, putting her head on his and listening to his last breaths. When you can hear that, it's like, God. And then, the song kicks in. I'm pretty sure that's from the Ellie actress from the game singing that. So that were when it just finishes. So look, we've kind of jumped to the end of the episode here.
Just one, I want to just go into the episode as a whole. It very much had like a Game of Thrones-esque, Battle of Winterfell kind of thing going on there.
You could actually see what were going on.
Yeah, which was nice. You get to see the big.
This is actually the most Thrones episode they've done in all aspects.
Yeah, literally, like you've got a major death, big action scene with a bunch of zombies in the winter in the freezing cold. This episode, it's difficult. I kind of want to just give it a 10 because I just don't see any fault with it.
I wouldn't blame you, pal. I'm in complete agreement with you. The whole Battle of Jackson going on, and it's really there to distract you. And I think that's there to catch people off guard who haven't played the game, who don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? To be like...
I just want to say as well, I love how it very much connects with, this wasn't like a throwaway thing for the first season. No, this is an evolution of the virus, the way the cordyceps can interact and alert other infected around the area. And the infected are getting smarter. I think that's one of the things that I find terrifying is that the infected are evolving and they're getting progressively much more terrifying in that aspect. They're able to hunker down, save themselves from freezing, form up into thousands. And then you've got the smart infected from the first episode. It's a crazy thing that they're doing with this, and I'm so happy because this is, I know we've had great video game adaptations, but I think this is probably the best. Yeah,
without a doubt, this is the best. Yeah. Look, even I love the spotlight on Tommy as well. A bit in this, showing him as a leader, because I feel like now that Joel's gone, I feel like they still want someone in that role. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's why they were showing Tommy spending a bit of time with Ellie last episode. So yeah, look, Gabriel Luna's a great guy. We know this. We went to a Comic-Con and he were in his line, he were up and down his line, just speaking to people, waiting to speak to him. He was speaking to everyone. He seems like a great guy. So yeah, I'm excited to see more Gabriel Luna.
It was a cool Terminator as well.
Yeah. But what do they call the big ones again? Is it a bloater?
I'm not sure. There's so many different versions of things.
And so many different zombie thingy names that I've got from gaming over the years.
Yeah.
Let's just refer to it as Big Fucker. That way... Big Fucker. That way we know what we're talking about. But seeing Tommy take that down with a flamethrower and just get into his last bit, and how realistic it was as well. There's like 4 people there with flamethrowers and 2 of them go, see you later, mate. I'm getting out of here. And I'd like to think that wouldn't be me, but that'd fucking definitely be me.
Oh yeah. Like it's scary. Do you know what I mean? Because it's not like your typical guns blazing. Like these guys, they make it apparent that look, we haven't got the best weapons here. The guys that know how to use the heavy, bigger guns, you use them, and the guys that don't, use the rifles and pistols and whatnot. They've got lots of ammo and they've got lots of guns, but it's just like guns aren't going to solve everything. Guns aren't going to stop this massive horde, this unrelenting beast of a horde.
But I'll tell you what will. Doggos. Good boys. That came
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The dogs are
they should have just released those fuckers straight away. Yeah. But it was a nice. It was pretty cool seeing that. I love dogs. That was pretty cool.
And let's get it to the bridge moment a bit as well. I love the moment when Abby awoke him, and they were chasing her, and that fence bit is ripped straight out of the game.
Yeah, that's when I knew. I was like, yeah, no, they're doing this.
And Joel saves her, and oh god.
Yeah.
If only Joel had the hindsight to let her fucking die.
Yeah.
But that's not how it happens. Look, I'm so excited for the rest of this season now. After last week's episode, I was like, cool, this is the show I remember. You know what I mean? I was like, it's just obviously because they came in with such a rush in the first episode. Last time, took me a bit off guard with a bit of a slower episode to start the season off. But I think they've more than made up for that. And I'm ready for the rest of this.
I disagree. I don't think episode 1 was too slow. I think it was...
No, it was perfectly paced. It's just episode 1 last year was like an hour and a... Not last year. Like 3 fucking years ago, we're like, this big fucking event. And not saying every episode 1 has to be a big fucking event. Episode 1 for season 2 was a perfect premiere episode to bring you back into the show.
Yeah, 100%.
And set up what's to come. But yeah, guys, have you seen Last of Us episode 2? I hope you have, because we've just been spoiling it for the past 20 minutes. But yeah,
Hell yeah.
Let's get on to our next topic, Kyle.